Hello, so in today's video we're going to be going over practice test 4.2, or 4-2, excuse me. So to start off, I got my two colors, I got a highlighter, and I got a straight edge. Number 1 and 2 ask us to write a rule in coordinate notation to describe each transformation. So we're using coordinate notation. So that's our x comma y to, and then so from our pre-image to our image, so we match up the corresponding, so from Q to Q prime, I go to the right 2 and up 3. So that's going to be x plus 2 for to the right 2, and then y plus 3 for up 3. We're going to be doing the same thing on number 2, so I have x, y, and that arrow. I need to have this part on my coordinate notation. Then I need to have corresponding letters, so u and u prime. So from u to u prime, I go to the left 4 and down 1. So left 4 is going to be x minus 4. Down 1 is going to be y minus 1. So we got 1 and 2 finished. 3 and 4 are asking us to do the same thing, but now we're using vector notation, so that's with our little arrow brackets. So again, corresponding letters. So D to D prime goes to the right 1 and down 1, 2, 3, 4. So to the right 1 is positive 1, down 4 is negative 4. Corresponding letters, so from R to R prime, I go to the left 2 and up 2. So left 2 is negative 2, up 2 is positive 2. So that is our first page done. We're going to flip over to number 5. So now number 5 has given us the pre-image and it's asking us to do this translation. So we have x plus 6 and then just y. So plus 6 means we're going to go to the right 6. So we're going to count from each point to the right 6. We just have y, so y is not going up or down. Y is just staying the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is J prime. I put that little apostrophe for prime. K, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is K prime. And then I, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is I prime. So once I have all my labels, I use my straight edge to connect all my vertices. And now I'm going to shade in my image. Doesn't have to be perfect, just shade it in. Number 6 is asking us to do the same thing. We're going left 2 and down 3. So T is going to go to the left 2, down 3. That's T prime. U is going to go to the left 2 and down 3. So this is U prime. V goes to the left 2, down 3. This is V prime. To the left 2, down 3. So this is S prime. Once I have all my vertices, I am connecting them with my straight edge. And then I am shading in that part of the image that doesn't overlap. We're doing the same thing on 7 and 8. Negative 6 is left 6, plus 2 is up 2. So left 6, up 2. Left 6, up 2. Left 6, up 2. Connect your vertices. And shade in your image. Plus 5 is right 5. Plus 4 for y is up 4. So we're going to the right 5, up 4. To the right 5, up 4. To the right 5, up 4. And to the right 5, up 4. Connect your vertices. And shade in your image. So that's all our translating done. Now we're doing reflection across the x-axis on number 9. So I'm going to highlight my line of reflection. So we're reflecting across the x-axis. Our points, our corresponding points, need to be the same distance from this line of reflection. So J is on the line of reflection, so it's not going to move. J prime is going to stay right there. K is up 3. So K prime is going to be down 3, so it's the same distance. L is up 4, so L prime is going to be down 4, so it's the same distance. M is up 2, so M prime is going to be down 2, so that it's that same distance. We have all our vertices, so we are connecting them. And then we are shading in our image. On number 10, we're reflecting across the y-axis. Same rules apply. My points have to be the same distance apart. So D's on that line of reflection, so D prime is that same point. C goes to the right 2, so C prime is going to go to the left 2. B goes to the right 5, so B prime is going to go to the left 5. A goes to the right 1, so A prime is going to go to the left 1. Then we're going to connect all our vertices. And shade in our image. Moving on to number 11 is another reflection problem, but now we're reflecting across the line y equals -1. So y equals -1 is this line, this horizontal line. So y equals -1 is what I'm reflecting across. I'm going to highlight that line of reflection. And the same rules apply. I need to maintain that same distance from that line of reflection. So if W goes up 1, W prime is going to go down 1. If X goes up 1, X prime is going to go down 1. If V goes down 2 from that line of reflection, V prime is going to go up 2 from that line of reflection. So I have my new vertices. And I'm going to shade in. Next, we're reflecting across the line x equals -2. So I'm going to draw in that line, x equals -2, which is the vertical line through where x is equal to -2. Got our vertical line, highlighting our line of reflection. Same rules apply. The points need to be the same distance across. So we're going to go to the right 2 because I went to the left 2. J goes to the left 2, so J prime is going to go to the right 2. K goes to the left 3, so K prime is going to go to the right 3. That is the wrong point. Moment. I went over one too many. So K prime goes to the right 3, which is right here. And we're going to fill in. So we're highlighting, or we're shading, excuse me, we're not highlighting. So next one, now we're going to reflect across that line, y equals x. So we're reflecting across that diagonal line, y equals x. So that diagonal line is the positive slope. It has an x-intercept, or a y-intercept of 0, excuse me. So it's this line here. So when we're reflecting across y equals x, our rule is we're going to change location for y and x. So our rule is that xy becomes yx. So this is at -2, +2. C is at -2, +2. So C prime is going to be at +2, -2. E is at -3, +2. -3, +2. So E prime is going to be at +2, -3. D is at -3, +5. -3, +5. So D prime is going to be at +5, -3. Once we have our vertices, we are connecting them. And then we are shading. Next, we're reflecting across the line y equals -x. So that's the diagonal line just going the other way. This one has a negative slope, y-intercept of 0 and a slope of -1. So that's the diagonal line this way. Our rule now that we're reflecting across y equals -x is we're still going to switch location, but we're going to have -y, -x. So we're going to change location and signs. Change location and signs. So it may be helpful when you're doing this much transforming for us to write out our coordinates. So E is at 5, -1. F is at 5, +3. G is at 1, +4. And H is at 0, +1. So when I transform them, I'm going to apply this rule. So E prime is going to be at +1, -5, because I switched location and changed the signs. F prime is at -3, -5, because I switched locations and changed the signs. G prime, we apply the same rule, -4, -1. And then H prime, we apply that same rule, -1, 0. Now, these points in green are the ones that we're plotting for our image. So 1, -5, -3, -5, -4, -1, and then H is at -1, 0, or H prime, excuse me. So we're connecting our vertices. And we're shading in our image. Moving on to rotations. We have a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation about the origin. So our rule for 90-degree rotation is -yx. So we can write out the points like we did on number 14. Or we can take a look. So this is at +2, -2. So that's going to become +2, because that -2 is going to change signs. +2. So we're at +2. Oh, we're going to write it out, because Ms. Morse's brain's not working. And if my brain's confused, your brain might be confused. So H is at -1, 5. J is at 4, -5. And I is at 2, -2. So let's apply our rule. So H prime is going to be at -5, -1. J prime is going to be at +5, 4. And I prime is going to be at +2, 2. So I prime is here. J prime is at +5, 4. And then H prime is at -5, No, that can't be right. H is at -1. There we go, found my mistake. So H is at -1, -5, which means H prime is at +5, -1. There we go, that makes more sense. And we're going to shade in our image. Now we're going to rotate 180 degrees. So we're doing the same thing. We're using a different rule. This rule is -x, -y. So we're just switching our signs. We're not switching locations, we're just switching signs. So if j is at -5, +1, j prime is going to be at +5, -1, because we're going to switch those signs. I is at -1, -1, so I prime is going to be at +1, +1. K is at -5, -3, so K prime is at +5, +3. I connect my vertices and I shade in my image. And on to the last page, we got 4 more problems. So we're rotating 270 degrees counterclockwise. So our 270 degree counterclockwise rule is xy transforms to y -x. So I'm going to write out our points so that I don't confuse myself again. So we have h at -3, +2. I is at -2, +5. J is at -1, 3. And K is at -1, +2. Excuse me. There we go. There we go. Wow. So K is at -1, +2. There we go. So we're going to apply our transformation rule. So H prime is at 2, +3, because we change, like 2 comes up front and we change the sign. I is at, or I prime is at 5, +2. I'm sorry, my phone keeps going off. Let me put that on silent. I apologize. There we go. So J prime is at 3, +1. Oh, now it's vibrating. My apologies for the interruptions. K prime is at 2, +1. And so now we're going to plot our points here. So we have 2, +3 for H prime, 5, +2 for I prime, 3, +1 for J prime, and then 2, +1 for K prime. Connect our vertices. And shade in our image. Our last rotation, we're now going to be rotating clockwise, 90 degrees clockwise. So clockwise is changing our direction from counterclockwise. So remember, we switch our rule. So instead of using the 90-degree rule, we use the 720-degree rule. So we're using this same rule that we were using on 17. XY is going to become Y -X. So we're going to do the same thing where we write out our points. So E is at -4, -5. F is at -5, -3. G is at -3, -1. And H is at 0, -2. Applying our rule, E prime is going to be at -5, +4. F prime is going to be at -3, +5. G prime is going to be at -1, +3, and H prime is going to be at -2, -0, which is just 0. I am popular. Oh, and now the speakers are crackling. Let's move the phone further away. Alright, so now we're plotting our points here in green. So -5, +4 is E prime. -3, +5 is F prime. -1, +3 is G prime. And -2, 0 is H prime. And we shade in our image. So we can see that we turned 90 degrees this way, or it would have been 90, 180, 270 counterclockwise. That's why we switch our rules. So last two problems are on dilation. So we're dilating with a scale factor of 2, so that means we're multiplying by 2. So this is how we saw in our notes that K is equal to 2. So we're going to take our points. S is at 0, +2. R is at 1, +2. And T is at 0, -1. And what we're going to do is we're going to multiply all these points by 2. So S prime is at 0, 4. So 0 times 2 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. I wonder how long we have been frozen.